Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of January, 2018, and this is episode 278. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys, to all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, we had somebody introduce themselves in the Ravelry group this week. Why don't you do a shout out?
Okay. Diane, who is Nerd Phoenix 356 from California.
Welcome. Thanks for introducing yourself. So, Dammy, if somebody's not a member of the Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread because you will get a shout out on our next episode and be able to participate in all our owls and giveaways.
That's right. Well, we have quite a bit to talk about today, including a book review of an amazing book that we're so excited to share with y'all. So we probably should get started. Here we go.
Now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
What's on your needles, Dammy?
Okay, I am still working on the Tickle Pink and Green cowl. Both these projects are for our upcoming Tickle Pink book. They're my designs and my samples that I need to finish.
You can do it.
The cowl is on US 4 3.5 millimeters, and the yarn is abstract fiber and Malabrigo sock. And then I cast on my last design and knit like a sixth of a repeat for it. It's Tickled Pink Wrap, US 3s, 3.25 millimeters, and the yarn is Seven Sisters Arts. So if once I finish the repeat, if it looks good, I will type up my test pattern, to send it to testers, and then I need to finish the 3 samples of mine because I've only finished one of my samples.
Okay.
I need to block my sample that I finished.
I need to block samples too. So, do you have like a goal for each day of how much to knit, or a goal for the next week of how much to knit, or
how much I can manage?
What about like the thing I was suggesting yesterday about the Pomodoro timer? Pomodoro timer. That is a thing where you like set your timer and you work for X amount of time and then you get X amount of time as a break. So is there anything else you can think that might help motivate you? No. Someone is trying to call Dammy.
From Oregon.
Spam. Not all Oregon numbers are spam. However, our phone numbers are from Oregon, and we keep getting a lot of spam calls, even though we put them on the do not call list. Yeah. Anyway, that's a side note. Anyway.
Just as much as I can manage. I mean, I did quite a bit yesterday, casting it on. It's almost 200 stitches, and then knitting 6 rows of almost 200 stitches. So,
I mean, I know,
and my fingers ache after doing it for a while, so I have to set it down.
Yeah, so, well, what I was going to suggest, I mean, I know you want to finish the repeat on this wrap so that it can go to testers. Mm-hmm. So why don't you focus on that? And
that's what I'm doing.
But I was saying more after that. And then once you have done that, why don't you rotate through the 3 projects, because they're each on different size needles and different yarn. And so if your hands are hurting on one of them, maybe they wouldn't hurt on a different size. Because like I know for me, if I'm knitting with, you know, probably starting around like US 7s, US 8s, and with, you know, like worsted weight or heavier, if I do it for too long, it really makes my hands ache. But I can knit until the cows come home on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles. So maybe something like that where you knit like, I don't know, like 4 rows on this one and 4 rows on this one and 4 rows on this one, and then like go back to the beginning, and that way maybe that will help.
Maybe. I
don't know. If there's anything I can do to help you along the process, you know where I live and where I sit next to you on the couch.
Okay. But that's all I'm working on.
That's a lot that you're working on. I'm very proud of you, and I know you can do it. So
we need somewhere to block the big stuff.
Yeah.
Like this wrap is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, well, the shawl that I did is a pretty big size, but we've blocked stuff in front of the fireplace before, and Winksy hasn't messed with it.
Yeah, she accidentally knocked mannequin feet over one time.
But so maybe
she was sniffing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we can do like just like, well, I mean, if it's like socks or whatever, you know, those can be blocked more than one at once, but then we could do one of the big pieces.
2 at once, because we only have 2 mannequins.
Yes. And the hats have already been blocked.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do pom-poms for them, though. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, so, okay. You can do it. You can do it.
What are you working on?
I have some very exciting news. Very, very, very exciting news about my 10-stitch zigzag blanket, which is a free pattern by Frankie Brown. I'm on US 4's 3.5 mil needles, and I finished the stripe I was working on, and I've cast on a new color, and I believe it's Ginger's hand dyed from the Indie Craft Crawl.
I think it's Royal Botanics.
Yeah, I think so. But finishing that stripe that I did, I am now 50% done with the blanket. And it has something like, I think almost like, I'm going to look. I think it has around 6,000 yards of yarn in it. Hold on just a second. Let's see what it says. 5,780 yards of yarn in it already. So this is going to be over 10,000 yards when I finish it. So I've got pictures for y'all right now on the screen that you've been seeing, but I'm super excited to have reached the 50% mark, because it feels like I've been working on this forever, which I have been. I cast it on in April of 2015. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that, and I'll just keep pressing on. I do a zigzag every day, which means I can get a whole stripe done in just under 3 weeks. And when I do the 20th zigzag on a stripe, I also do the first zigzag of the next stripe, because this is a free pattern. I'm not giving away any of the secret sauce. When you're finishing the stripe, you bind off 9 stitches and keep 1 stitch alive, and then you cast on 9 stitches with the new yarn, and then start doing the thing to connect it. So I've just found it's easier for me to go ahead and knit that first zigzag on the same time I'm knitting the 20th zigzag. So yeah, but I'm so excited. Okay, what else am I working on? I am working on my pink stripy socks for the win, which is from my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern on Ravelry. I'm on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and I'm using String Theory, Colorworks, Entanglement, Self-Striping in the Oxytocin colorway. I think I had already finished the first sock last week when I showed y'all. And I have not done very much on this week because I've been focusing on some other stuff, but you can see I've just started the foot. I've done like 5 rows on it. So, but I'm working on that. I'd like to have these done by Valentine's Day, because they really do kind of scream Valentine's Day to me. And then there is a family at our church that are expecting a baby, so I'm knitting some things for the baby shower. I will show you, I've already shown you one finished bumble hat, which is a Tin Can Knits pattern. I have the other one to show you in FOs, and then I'm knitting baby chino socks by someone I know. Tammy. This is the first time I've ever knit one of your patterns. And it's amazing. So I am using her baby chino sock pattern, which is from our second book. It's available on Ravelry though. On US 3's 3.25 mil needles, and I'm using Bernays Softy Baby in the Prince Pebbles colorway. So I'm knitting the baby size. So here's sock number 1. Is that adorable? And here is sock number 2. So I've finished the heel, so I need to do the leg and the cuff.
Yeah, it's not a tube, it's got little heels.
Yeah.
Little heels for little baby.
Yes. So I will, I went to Mom's group yesterday and cast it on and did the whole foot and the heel.
Yeah, that was my fastest sample from the last book.
And, I mean, and I was like holding babies and playing and
kissing
talking.
babies.
No, the baby was kissing me. So sweet. She's 7 months old. Her name is Cora. And I was holding her, and I would like blow in her face like this, and she would go and smile really big. And so she's just learned to give kisses, and so she was giving me kisses on my cheek. It was very cute. So anyway, so it won't take long to finish this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit another pair of socks in the other colorway, so that there will be which is, this is the baby colorway. So that
And you have plenty left over still. Did you, like, bring us?
Well, actually, we've got another friend that's expecting.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
And I'm probably going to do hats and...
More baby chino?
Yes, more baby chino socks. But then I'm also probably going to knit baby sweaters out of the same 2 colorways. So I think I might do one that is the baby vertebrae, where it's like open in the front, so that if they spill or spit up, it doesn't get on the sweater. And then
open in the front, party in the back.
That's right. And then there's another, oh, the baby sophisticate. I might do that. So I probably will do like the baby vertebrae, like in, I don't remember the sizing, but probably like in a little bit bigger size, because it will, even if it's a little bit big, it's still okay because it doesn't meet in the middle. And then maybe do the baby sophisticate in a smaller size. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking I'll probably just use these.
Babies grow quickly.
They do. So that's why I tend to do stuff a little bit bigger.
They're like weeds.
They are. They grow so fast. So, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking for that, for our friend. But she's not due until August. And it's not twins. Only one baby. She had an ultrasound yesterday, and we were hassling her that it might be twins. So I'm working on that. And then I can't show you, but I'm working on a beach, what I'm calling the beach cowl. That's not the final name. It's a design that I've done. I'm on US 2.5 3 mil needles, and I'm using Pendia's Jewel Snug in the Brackets Landing colorway. And what this is, it's for a club that Julia of Pendia's Jewels and I were commissioned to do a yarn and pattern for, and it's got there's like 4 different teams of dyers and designers that are doing a thing over the course of this year. And I already designed a sock pattern and knit it up out of this yarn, but I'm also doing a cowl with the same 2 stitch patterns. But I've got plenty of time, so I'm just trying to knit up the sample on that since I finished the book samples, which I haven't told you about because we're not to the FOs yet. So yeah, so I'm knitting on that, and I am loving how the yarn is knitting up. Just a beautiful color. Oh, it's just amazing. So Julia's a color genius. Color genius. And that's everything I'm currently working on, but that means I have FOs. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
3 of them this week. So first up is what I was mentioning in the last segment, is the baby bumble hat.
Is it the baby size or the newborn size?
This is the baby size. So the other one I did in the newborn size. Mm-hmm. And then this is the baby size.
Do you think they need blocking?
Probably. Mm-hmm. We just have
not on balloons.
No.
Balloons wouldn't do anything, really.
No, they don't. Sorry, it's getting washed out. There we go. This is the Bumble pattern by Tin Can Knits. I did this on US 6's 4 mil needles and US 10.5 6.5 mil needles, and talk about making your hands hurt, big needles. And this is Brene Softy Baby in the Baby colorway. Now, you may be like, Cece, that looks different than the one you showed us last week. That's because it is. So this is the actual right side when you are knitting.
Oh my god.
However, I adore how the reverse side looks, the wrong side.
Oh, and also the ribbing is different because you did.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did.
I did knit through the back loop purl one.
Yeah.
So,
so now it's a knit one purl through the back loop.
Yeah. So, so I did this one inside out. So that way the newborn one is right side out, and then this baby one, which will fit a little bit longer, is wrong side out. So that way it gives them a little bit different look. So, but I love how that turned out, and just a wee little pom-pom on top. They're having a baby girl. So, I finished knitting my Tickle Pink shawl sample on US 5's 3.75 mil needles using Suburban Stitcher sock in the Cinder colorway, which is a public colorway that she's been selling, and a secret colorway. So, that...
They already know the name of it, though.
Yes, Bashful. Because I think I'm going to call this like the Bash... Well, no, I can't say.
I have no idea what you just said.
I'll tell you later. It might give away some of the secret sauce. So I finished that, and I'm really excited, and we need to block it. And then here's this week's preemie hat. Number 3 already for the year. This month is going by so fast. So, it's like bubbling. There we go. Anyway, I don't know why it's bubbling like that. So this is number 3 for the year. This is from my free top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. I did this on US 6's 4mm needles, and the pom-pom and the stripe are the leftover Strawberry Fields yarn, Take a Hike in the Strawberry Fields Again colorway that I was using on the zigzag blanket. So I used what was left of that. And then for the ribbing down here, I used Karen Simply Soft Heather in the gray heather colorway. And then the red and black is the Days of the Guardian colorway that, D. Marie Prokop, who sent us some books and everything, dyed up. So this is, yes, I did. I used everything I had left. So this one and this one I held doubled, and then this one is just by itself. So there's preemie hat number 3 for the year. So yeah, so I finished 3 things this week. That makes me feel, well, and if I had finished the other baby chino socks, that would have been 4 this week. But I imagine I probably will be able to get that baby chino pair finished plus the other one finished before next week. Yeah. And that's everything on my needles. I mean, off my needles. We already did on my needles, off my needles. So I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So I got a little parcel in the post from Lori, who is L. Clark 101896, and she sent me this adorable smiley card. How fun is that? And the one smile is on the inside too, and it's pink inside. And she sent me, hold on, let me take it off so you can see.
Should have taken it off before.
I know, I didn't think about it. This beautiful necklace, and it's got a lava bead right there that you can put essential oils on, and an amethyst bead underneath. So I've been wearing it doubled with my other my pink lava bead necklace, and I've been putting one oil on the pink lava beads and one oil on the black lava bead. And she said that she made them for a bunch of her co-workers, and she thought I would like it, so she sent it my way. So thank you so much, Lori. I do love it. I've been wearing it pretty much every day. So, yeah. So, we had an addition to our family this week.
Expand quickly.
A new car. Luke the Second is his name. I'll explain that in a minute. So when we left to move to Scotland, we sold pretty much everything we owned, including our 2005 Hyundai Santa Fe, who was named Luke from Gilmore Girls. And so since we've been back, we've been using friends' cards and everything just as we were trying to figure things out. But the Hubs and I went to a beautiful dealership here this week. And God just led the perfect sales guy into our lives, and he was able to help us and work things out that we got a 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe, because we loved our Santa Fe, our old one. It was amazing. So I'm putting a picture on the screen of the new one. It was owned by this elderly couple that only put like 55,000 miles on it. So it's lovely. And so since the other one was named Luke, this one is Luke the Second. And Dammy's looking out the window at Luke. He's right outside. And Luke is amazing. He has heated seats in the front and the back. And a moonroof. These were like all things that we would have been fine without. But it's like, oh, well, look at all these bonus things that we're getting. Yeah. So we are very, very grateful for those who have helped along the way and lent us cars and everything as we've been settling back in here. But we are super excited to have Luke the Second join our family.
Now I have to learn how to drive.
Yes. So people have asked, and
Take a test.
you do. You have to take the written test. So people have asked if you drive, and so in Scotland, I think in the whole UK actually, you can't take driver's ed till you're 18. And you didn't turn 18 till after we got back here. So
I have to study for a test.
yes, you do. So that you can get your learner's permit, and then I feel like it's probably going to be Daddy that teaches you. Because I might get too stressed out.
Okay.
He has a calmer personality than I do. So, yeah. So we will work on that, but we're really, really excited. And, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have that in our life now. So, Dammy, can you think of anything else that needs to go in Yummies?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month. So you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
And so it's already the 24th of January, so we have like a week left of January. This year is already starting to fly by. But January's prompt list has stuff like about the new year and goals, and then also just some normal knitting stuff and everything. But we released the February prompts list yesterday, and I think it is our favorite month of the year because we play alphabet soup. So every day other than the 14th for Valentine's Day, and I think the prompt that day is love, and then the 28th, the prompt is, I believe, the number 2.
Why didn't we put 2 on 2?
Because we were dividing the month in half. But because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, so we needed 2 extra prompts. So each day it's like A is for, X is for, L is for each day, but it goes in alphabetical order. And you interpret that however you want. You can make it. I love this month because we see so many fun ways that people interpret the prompts to make it work, especially days like that for like Q and X and Z, because those are the 3 hardest days to come up with. So yeah, so the February list is out on the website, and we'll be publishing it to social media in the next few days, but you're also about to see it here on the screen. What else are they going to see here on the screen?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
So here come the photos. So great job, everybody. Those were our favorite photos. So it's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt list for the day. I don't know what today's prompt is. I always tell y'all. It is new?
New.
Today's prompt, the day we're recording this, is new. So you interpret that prompt however you want. You take a photo. You post it on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad, because that's how we find your photos. And yours might get chosen. So we are not going to make it to Stitches West this year in February. We had hoped to, but things just aren't working out that way. So maybe next year. And yeah, we'll see what other events come up in the next few months. So I think that's everything for Yummy. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
What are you reading, Disney?
I am still reading Emma by Jane Austen. And The Glass Scientists by Sabrina Kutungo.
Okay. Anything exciting happening in either one of them?
Well, something exciting is always happening in Emma.
Like what?
See, now I've forgotten what part I'm at. The part where Mr. Elton came back with his new wife. I can't remember her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always drama.
Yes. And you've read this multiple times, so you know what's going to happen. So, how's it going? 15 minutes every day?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what I'm referencing is the January, February, March read-along challenge that I've put forth to Dammy and that then expanded to y'all. So there is a chatter thread and also not an FO thread, but the
main thread.
The main thread where you track your reading. So in that thread, you take one post and you edit it to put in each day, how much, what you've read, etc. All that I need to have is just how long you read. But some people are like tracking like, oh, it took me this many days to read this book and everything. So that's cool. That's totally fine. And if you read 87 of the 90 days, at least 87 of the 90 days, everyone who does that is going to get a 20% off a single pattern coupon code from our store on Ravelry. We will have at least one giveaway for one of our ebooks, maybe more. And then we have 2 other giveaways sponsored by Iggy Star. One winner is going to get a skein of Firefly-inspired yarn and my Firefly-inspired sock pattern. And the another winner is going to win a skein of Doctor Who-inspired yarn and any one of my single Doctor Who-inspired patterns. So, and then if you read at least 60 of the 90 days, you'll be in a giveaway for a single pattern, and we may do more of those. We're going to wait and see how many people accomplished each of the 2 things to decide then if we're going to put out more ebooks for the 87 days and more single patterns for the 60 days. And if you want to post on social media what you're reading, you can use the hashtag GGKRAL18, GGKRAL, read along 18. So, anything else we need to say about that? There's been lots of good conversations going in the Ravelry group about what y'all are reading, so that's really awesome. What I am reading, I'm continuing to read You Are a Bad... This is a family-friendly show, so I'm not going to say it. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. Sincero, I think is how you say it. And I think I'm at like 70 or 75% done. So I will have this one finished by next week. So, and then fiction-wise, I do believe all of these are Kindle Unlimited books. Yeah, I think so. So I read Witchin' USA, which is a Moonstone Bay cozy mystery book, and it's the first one in the series by Amanda M. Lee. I've read tons of her other stuff, and this is a new series that she's just started. That is cozy mysteries with fantasy, because obviously with the title. I read Deadly Summer, which is the first book in the Darling Investigations series by Denise Grover Swank. Again, I've read a ton of her stuff. And so this one is about a former child TV star that is trying to save her career and ends up doing a reality show where she's a private investigator, which she did. That was kind of connected to what she did in her TV career. So I read that one. I read the 54th book in the A Shade of Vampire series called A Den of Tricks by Bella Forrest, and enjoyed that. I read book number 12 in the Black Cat Cafe series. The book was called Mary Buried Christmas by Lindsay Cole. And that was fun. I did like almost all cozy mysteries this week. And then in the Sweetland Witch series by Zoe Arden, I read Which Way to the Bakery, and then I'm currently reading Royal Witch Curse. So these are all cozy mysteries, other than the Bella Forrest one. That one is much more fantasy, etc. So that is all of the books I have read. So let's talk about movies. I watched one Hallmark movie this week called Past Malice, an Emma Fielding mystery. You know what? I didn't put the other show that I watched. Okay, I'll put it in just a second. I finished watching season 2, and I'm watching season 3 of Charmed. And then I watched the entire miniseries called Alias Grace. It's a 6-part miniseries. It's based on a book by the same lady who wrote, I just read it not too long ago, and you have it on your list to read. The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
The same lady that wrote Handmaid's Tale wrote this book that it's inspired by, and it is based on a true story. It's about this woman, like in the mid-1800s, who is in prison for murdering a fellow servant and her master, and this psychologist guy comes, and of course this is still in the early days of psychology, comes and is talking to her and trying to ascertain, so he's supposed to do a report on whether she should be pardoned after 15 years in prison. It takes a kind of turn that I wasn't totally expecting, but it was still very interesting. So if you like that kind of show, you might enjoy this. So I found it just really interesting to see what they were taking, from these beginning days of psychology. Whereas now, like, looking at it, it would be almost immediately obvious that this is what they would diagnose her with by a psychologist or psychiatrist. But it was pretty interesting. So it's not like adult content, but I would say for a more mature audience, because there is violence, because it's almost all done in flashbacks. So there is some violence and such, and so I wouldn't let a younger child watch this with you. The Hubs and I are watching season 4 of Flash. Barry was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Oh.
Oh no. Why don't you talk about the next few?
Okay, we're watching season 5 of The Blacklist. This was the 100th episode. It's getting kind of weird.
I know.
Liz disposed of that guy's body, and there was treasure at the Federal Mint.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reddington got Winston Churchill's hat.
And he was very excited.
Why not?
I guess so. I guess if you have money to throw away.
Yeah. Watching season 13 of Criminal Minds. There was murder in Central Park, and Luke had a blind date.
Yes. Where there was a misunderstanding.
Yes.
Because she thought he had a kid, but he only has a dog.
Only a dog?
I'm saying he doesn't have a child.
Well,
he just only has a dog, not a child.
We are watching season 4 of The Librarians. There were 2 brothers reunited at a Civil War reenactment, and the librarians need to resolve their differences over who should be the librarians.
Yes.
And I guess I'll say this one too.
Sure.
We're watching season 11 of The X-Files. There was a weird twin thing where they were making people see their double and then killed them.
Yeah.
It was closer
To Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, it's kind of confusing. Anyway.
Like, just end it after this season.
Yeah.
So
well,
we can watch the old ones and be like, this is the X-Files we know.
I think I said this last week that,
Gillian Anderson?
Yeah, that she said that this is going to be her final season. So.
And it's not X-Files without Scully or Mulder, and we know this from one of the last seasons.
Yeah.
So just end it.
Yep.
Just end it.
I'm watching series 7 of Death in Paradise. There was a murder of a famous author who was trying to fake his own death.
Well, he didn't have to fake it.
Nope, because somebody murdered him. The Hubs and I are watching season 11 of The Big Bang Theory. Sheldon is renting his old room from Leonard and Penny to work in. And it turns into this whole thing where he had like this whole huge contract about being able to rent the room. It's funny. I'm watching season 13 of Supernatural, and I'm so excited about the new episode that came out. So Jodie and several other women who have been in the show over the course of the years work together to save Sam and Dean from the other world that they got trapped in. But Kaya was killed in the process. This was one of the women. However, they announced that this episode is a backdoor pilot for a spin-off called Wayward Sisters. And it's going to have Jodie and all these other women in it. And I'm so excited because Jodie is probably my favorite character outside of Sam and Dean. And I always have loved her character. So I'm really, really excited that they're going to do this. However, the Dreamwalker, the woman who's a Dreamwalker, her doppelganger came through another one of the rifts, and this is going to cause problems.
How long can they beat the dead horse of Supernatural?
I don't know.
It's been going on for 13 seasons.
As has Criminal Mind, and NCIS is at, 15? There wasn't a new episode this week.
Yeah, but I feel like the criminal dramas are different from...
Well, there's a new NCIS that was on last night that we haven't watched yet. But yeah, I don't know. But we haven't really gotten into really any of the newer shows. I mean, looking at what we're watching right now, season 4, season 5, season 13, yeah. Season 4, 11, 7, 11, 13, 6, 3, 5. So we really haven't gotten into any of the new shows. There haven't been any that have just really grabbed me of oh, I want to try that one and see what I think. So, I'm also watching season 6 of Arrow, and Diggle's trimmer was fixed by a chip that Felicity and Curtis created. Curtis, Dinah, and Renee decided to team up together instead of rejoining Oliver's team. So now it's 2 teams. What's gonna happen?
We are watching season 3 of Blind Spot, and Roman set Weller up when hasn't he, in regards to Jane's daughter.
Yes.
And we're also watching season 5 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And you wrote this. This is confusing with the flashbacks that haven't happened yet, and you say it, because he's not by the hub.
So the hub's theory about this is that they're in an alternate universe, and what they learn there is going to help them save the world in the present, in their universe. I don't know, but yeah, I was getting very confused with the flashbacks that haven't really happened yet. It was lost with the flash forwards. That's what it is. They're flash forwards, but they're flashbacks because of the
time jump.
Yes.
Okay, talk about the next one.
Call the Midwife Series 7 started, and there's a new midwife. And I think that they are going to pair up Nurse Crane with Sergeant Wolf, that they're going to end up like a couple. Because they've had this gruff disagreement thing the last couple episodes at least. I think they're going to end up pairing them up as a couple. So... And then the hubs and I are watching season 11 of Murdoch Mysteries. It was about a crying Virgin Mary statue.
Okay.
She was crying blood.
Oh, that's scary.
And it ended up being that a priest staged it to try to force another priest to confess to some horrible things that he had done. Because he couldn't just go to the police and tell them, because he was bound by it being told to him in confession. So, yeah. So, and we do have a Supergirl episode that we need to watch that we just didn't get a chance to.
I watched something.
Oh, what did you watch?
I watched the Phantom of the Opera 25th anniversary at the Royal Albert Hall.
Cool.
I guess it's a movie, but it's the stage production.
Okay.
At the Royal Albert Hall.
And why did you watch this?
Because it's Phantom's 30th anniversary, and he's like, I haven't watched this before. Let's watch it.
Cool. Remind me, and we'll put it in the show notes.
I wish I was a soprano.
I'm sorry.
She goes really high. E6.
Sopranos tend to go really high. So... listening to Christy Knocklesby Held Lullabies for the Beloved album. I think this is going to be my album for the year. I'm just really in love with listening to it. So, and what have you listened to?
I have listened to Anastasia and the Jekyll and Hyde original Broadway cast recording and Captain Pusher.
Yes, we listened to an episode of Cabin Pressure the other day together. Which one was that?
Therese St. Mary.
Yes, where Martin twists his ankle and then they have to take the piano
To Devon.
and what's the other pilot's name? Douglas lost the keys and blamed Arthur. And it had what's his name in it from
Anthony Head.
Yes.
From Merlin and Buffy.
Yes. Oh, Cabin Pressure's awesome. If you've never listened to Cabin Pressure, you should. It is amazing. I feel like we should start at the beginning and listen to it all again.
I already did that.
But I would like to do that. We should do that. Okay, I think that is everything that we are reading, watching, and listening to. So let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about our December, January, February Winter Wonderland owl.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, so this runs from the 1st of December all the way through the 28th of February. There's 3 main rules. The first is it's for Ravelry crafts only. So it's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to winter. How can they do that if they don't have an idea?
You made it in the winter.
There you go. Second rule, no whips are allowed. You have to start your project no earlier than the 1st of December and finish it by the 28th of February. And the third rule, which we probably will be modifying when we do the spring along, but for now, this rule is if you make something that uses less than 10 grams of yarn, you need to group it with other small items that altogether total at least 10 grams of yarn to post in the FO thread. So normally it's just one project per post and each one of those posts is an entry into the giveaways. But if your project is less than 10 grams of yarn, it needs to be with other things in that one post to make it be a total of at least 10 grams. Okay? Feel free to poly dip in other alongs as long as it meets the rules, follows the rules. We've got lots of lovely prizes that are on the screen right now. A big thank you to our sponsors for donating those prizes. If you'd like to know more about the prizes, links to the shops, larger photos, you can go to
GeekyGirlsKnit.com.
or tune into the first podcast of every month where we talk about them in detail, which will, I think, be next week. Or is next week the 31st?
Next week is not the first podcast of the month.
It's the 31st.
Well, we could do it.
And we'll see. We'll see. You have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. I already told you about the entries. The social media hashtag is GGKWinter1718. We will lock the FO thread the morning of the 1st of March and draw winners on the next podcast after that. If you are a winner, you'll have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. There's a chatter thread in the Ravelry group where you can talk about what you're making, encourage each other as y'all go along. And Dammy also gives shout outs to people who finish projects there, but also right here on the podcast. So Dammy, do some shout outs.
Okay. Angie's Hip, Asteroid, Cafe O Yarn, Crafts Untold, Deb Knits 2, Dueling Needles, Eleanor Gamgee, Falling Star 12, Philippa MC, Hazy Summers, I Knit Socks 2, Inky Minky 184, Jamie BB 1975, Jelarima, Jennifer Reels, Jessie's Girl 84, JP Music 15, Kana Soup, Karenina 4777, Knit Central, Knitter Chow, El McCall, Moe's Crochet, Mona Moon, Mystery Sewer, R&B Knitter, She's Knitting Socks, S. Keeling, Skippy, Tamil, VT Kimmy Kim, and Wisconsin Knitter.
Great job, everybody. So you have about 5 weeks to finish your projects?
A month and a couple days.
Well, no, because today's the 24th and there's 31 days in January.
A month and a week.
Yes, so 5 weeks because there's
Sure.
28 days in February, so that's exactly 4 weeks. So you have about 5 weeks left to finish your projects. So get those finished and posted in the FO thread and you might be a winner. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
Yes, so what is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question comes from Rhonda, who is dueling needles from Pennsylvania. You both seem to really enjoy Pom Pom Quarterly. Have you ever made any of the items from the magazines? If so, which ones? I have not.
Okay, I have made 2 of them, and I'm going to try to remember to download photos to put here, but if not, I've put the links to my projects in the show notes. So one of the ones that I knit was the Fairchild pattern by Bristol Ivy. This was in...
Oh, this was your NaNoSwimmo for 2015.
It was. This was in issue 11, winter 2014 issue. And it is a DK weight sweater knit on US 6s, 4mm, and US 7s, 4.5mm needles. And if it's not showing the podcast, it has like this... The thing to have pocket, it has like a pocket thing down here. And it was lovely and cozy, and I love to wear it. And then I lost a bunch of weight and it didn't fit anymore. But it was a almost 84,000 stitch sweater. That's a lot. So I knit that one. And then the other thing that I've knit is the Alloy hat by Tatiana Scazzi. This was in issue 19, winter 2016 issue. And this was my very first brioche pattern. So this was done on US 5s, 3.75mm needles. And I used Wet Yorkshire Spinners Air Valley DK yarn and learned how to brioche. And then I believe I donated it to charity. But it was fun to have this fairly simple hat where I could actually learn the brioche technique. So it was a fun one to knit. It's a 3-color hat, although you may be able to modify it and do it differently. So those are the 2 that I have knit. I don't know if I have anything in my queue that is waiting to be knit. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that I do. But they're all in our library, so we have all the magazines, so we could totally pull something out of there. Sometimes if I'm looking for like a shawl or something to knit, I will go search in my library, and so that might bring up one to knit. But yeah, we really do love Pom Pom Quarterly, and obviously it's the only magazine that we purchased to review with y'all. So yeah. So I think that answered your question, Rhonda. We'd love to hear in the episode thread if y'all have ever knit anything from either Pom Pom Quarterly or another magazine that you love. So share with us. And if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
That's right. All right, we have a review, so let's move on.
And now we have a review. A giveaway?
Nope, just a review.
Just a review.
So this is the I Knit New York Volume 1 book that is put together by Kathleen Dames and some other lovely people. And it was sent to us by the lovely folks over at One More Row Press to review. Print copies of this are available for $30, and we have a link in the show notes of where you can order that. Ebooks are available for $25 on Ravelry. So we're just going to talk through this book, and
I like that. It's like
yes.
Pom Pom Quarterly.
Okay, so there we go. So they have drawings of all of the patterns in the book, which is really, really fun. So there are tons of pictures of New York throughout the book.
New York.
So that is really, really fun.
Word.
And so Kathleen Dames and Alice O'Reilly are the editors of this. But all of the designers are from New York. So that's awesome. So there's several articles as well. Knitting in Old New York is one of them. There is a whole article about the different yarns used in the book, which they're all from Backyard Fiberworks, which is Alice O'Reilly's company.
Mm.
And it talks about
all the bases
of the yarn that are used.
And
there's a picture of all the yarns that are used. So
the articles and photos and stuff are interspersed with the patterns.
Yes. So first up we have the 42nd and Lex cardigan by Kathleen Dames.
Is it a cardigan or a sweater?
It's a cardigan. I really like the detail on the sleeves. Mm-hmm. So this comes in 7 sizes. It's done in the terrain base, which I'm guessing is probably a sport DK. That's one thing that I would recommend if they were to do an update of this. I know they talked about the bases earlier, but it would be really nice to have it in the materials list what weight that yarn is. It's done on US 5 3.75 mil needles. And
it just looks nice and
it
light.
does. Let's see if I can show this without showing. So there is the back detail. I love that it's interspersed with pearl stitches to really make things pop.
Oh, it looks like Empire State.
It does.
I don't know if it's supposed to. I have no idea where the Empire State is.
It's in New York City. Why is this not swiping back? There we go. It was inspired by
Chrysler Building.
By the Chrysler Building.
There are lots of skyscrapers in Manhattan.
That's right. So it is. The construction begins with the sleeves and yoke worked from the cuff to the center back that are then woven together, and then the skirt of the sweater is knit separately. So, yeah, so it's really cool. Okay, the next pattern is the Brooklyn Botanic Hat.
By Brittany Bailey.
Alliteration for the win, y'all. Oops, I accidentally... There we go. Okay, so there's the hat. Very pretty. This is done in 3 sizes. 231 yards per 100 grams. That's probably a worsted or...
Worsted.
Yeah, I think probably a worsted.
This is American worsted exists.
This is done on US 4's 3.5 mil and US 5's 3.75 mil. And it's inspired by the Brooklyn Botanic Gardens. And yeah, so the charts in this book are really, really nice. And they're really well done and easy to follow. Okay, this is probably my favorite pattern in the book. This is the Go Lightly sweater, again by Brittany Bailey.
Oh, I just got that.
Yeah.
The Lightly.
I love, love, love this sweater. So it is done in 6 sizes on probably a sport DK weight yarn on US 3's 3.25 mil needles. And it is inspired by Audrey Hepburn's style in Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's cast on at the top. The collar has a folded hem and then a little bit of eyelet detail along the raglan increases and down the side seams. Yeah, I love this sweater. There's another picture of
I
it.
like how the collar, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Like
it rolls, but not really.
Yeah, because it's a folded collar. So,
she's got flowers on her jeans.
Yeah, so I really love that. And again, interspersed throughout is like questions about the designers and their life in New York and like what their favorite movies and TV shows based in New York are. Books as well.
I really liked this one.
So this is the Jane Jacobs shawl by Kirsten Kapoor.
This is like mosaic, isn't it?
It's what, that's how I describe it. It is done on a fingering weight yarn in 3 colors on US 6's 4 mil needles, and it comes in 1 size. It's inspired, yes, it's an asymmetrical mosaic shawl named for Jane Jacobs, who was a community activist who led the charge to protect Washington Square Park from an urban renewal project. And, yeah.
So it looks nice and cozy.
I like how they have the diagram drawing of like what is going where. Yeah. Let's see. This will give you a little better close-up idea of some of the detail.
It's so pretty.
It is very pretty. I really, really like it.
I would like gold with other colors.
Yeah.
It matches very well.
I like this hat a lot. I don't know if I would make it for me, but I like it. This is the Lenox Avenue by Lars Raines. How awesome.
It's so slouchy and
It is
chunky.
super slouchy. So this is done on it's probably super bulky, 76 yards to 100 grams. Knit in 1 size on US 13's 9 mil needles. And Lenox Avenue is the epicenter of cultural activity during the Harlem Renaissance, and it's named after the philanthropist James Lenox, who the main thoroughfare that traverses the neighborhood of Harlem. And so he used interlocking cables to kind of inspire the different ways that from the Harlem Renaissance to Harlem of today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I got to show this photo. Okay.
It's enormous.
There you go. How awesome is that?
It's enormous.
It's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's so fun. There's an article about going on a button hunt in New York to get buttons for your projects. Okay.
These are they're kind of cute, but I don't know if I would make them. But
yeah.
They're cute.
So this is the Manhattan Hinge by Kathleen Dames. It's a cowl and a glove pattern. So I love, 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 especially the gloves. They're so
the
fun.
Contrasting fingers
Yeah.
are cute.
So the cowl is in one size and the gloves are in 3 sizes. Using a fingering weight yarn in 2 colors. You use US 0 1.75 mil needles and US 3 3.25 mil needles. And let's see, wait, I didn't tell you about the inspiration. Apparently, the sun aligns itself directly along the Manhattan street grid twice a year. It's a phenomenon known as Manhattan Hinge, when the island's rakish 29-degree angle lines up with the shifting, rising, and setting point of the sun. That's pretty cool. So the gloves are worked from the fingertips down and finished with a chevron cuff to match the cowl. And then the cowl also utilizes a slip stitch pattern to play with color. So let's see, there's a good picture of the gloves. I love the contrasting fingers. Those are really fun. And then here's a close-up of the cowl. That's really, really fun. Okay. And then we have the Metropolitan Opera hat by Lars Rains.
I liked this one too.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yep.
Even though I don't do color work.
So this comes in 2 sizes, a small, medium, and a large, extra large. On 133.
I have no idea.
Okay, wait. No. So it's 133 yards per 33 grams.
So that's not a full skein.
That's
probably fingering then.
Yeah, something like that.
For sport.
Yeah. So it's done in 3 colors. And it's done in smaller mini skeins, so you don't have to buy like 3 full skeins of yarn. It's done US 3's 3.25 mil and US 4's 3.5 mil needles. And he talks about that at the Metropolitan Opera, being awestruck by the chandeliers, how they silently ascend toward the ceiling as a cue to the audience that the opera is about to start. So he did this ferrule pattern to recreate the impression of the bright lights against a dark background of shadows. And the top is really beautiful too. Mm-hmm. Very nice. And then another article. Okay, and
this looks cozy.
It does. This is the Opal Clock Wrap by Kathleen Dames.
Oh my goodness, so many cables.
Oh, so yummy.
That looks like bigger than a DK. I don't know what that would be.
Let's see. It is 181 yards to 100 grams. So
probably a bulky, not super bulky.
Yeah. It's in one size on US 7's 4.5 mil needles, and it's inspired by the crown jewel of the Grand Central Terminal, the opal clock, and it's got 4 helpful faces made of opal, and is valued at over $10 million US.
That's a lot of dollars.
I know. So, like the clock aligns with the terminal's axis, the center star of this stool sets up 4 circular cables emerging from a braided base. The edges are finished with 2 kinds of I-cord, while each end is filled with smaller versions of the clock cable. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Here's another photo.
Anything cozy.
Definitely. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
Big charts.
Yes, huge charts. Mm-hmm. And then there's an article about a New York City yarn crawl with 9 shops. And there's photos and information about each of the shops. There's another article by one of the designers. This one is amazing. This is the Rockefeller Center T. It's a T. Is what they call it.
I was going to say the...
Oh, the name. Zandy Peters.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, that's the front of it.
Is that drop stitches?
Yes. Okay, so this is done in 7 sizes. Like a sport DK weight yarn. US 4 is 3.5 mil and US 5 is 3.75 mil. So this is inspired by the Art Deco architecture of Midtown Manhattan, and Rockefeller Center has that kind of design. So the neck of the tee is a geometric drop stitch lace open work motif that you can wear that in the front or in the back. I'm going to show you a picture of the other side in just a minute. The opposite side is a V-neck with a single I-cord strap across the deepest part of the V and a curved hem. The sides have a twisted ribbing detail that continues onto the sleeves. It's worked from the bottom up in one piece with gentle shaping and articulated raglan sleeves. Let's see, there we go. Okay. So that is the back. So you can either wear this in the back or this in the front. And you can also wear it with this in the back or the front. I don't know if it's a style for me to wear, but I'm just in love with how it looks. Mm-hmm. It is so beautiful. There's a picture of that with the V-neck in the front. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I love it. Like I said, I don't know if I would knit it for me, but I love just the design is so very, very beautiful. Love it, love it, love it a lot. Okay, next up we have the Sheep Meadow Cowl by Lars Rain. This is another one of my favorites. So there's a picture there, but just wait. I'm going to show you another picture in a minute. So this is done, it's one size done on a fingering weight because it's 200 yards for 50 grams. And it is 5 colors, done on US 4's 3.5 and US 5's 3.75 mil needles. And it was inspired by the Sheep Meadow section of the park in New York City's Central Park. It's also home. It was actually home at the turn of the last century to a flock of sheep that would trim the grass and fertilize the yarn. They were housed in
the lawn. You said a yarn.
Oh, sorry, sheep yarn. The lawn. They were housed in a Victorian building that became Tavern on the Green restaurant. And so it's a long funnel cowl representing the undulating ground of the park using balanced pairs of short row sections and uneven stripes. Okay, but look at this photo.
Enormous.
Oh my gosh. I am in love with this. Oh my gosh. Here's another photo with it all wrapped around.
You can do it around your neck like 3 or 4 times.
Oh my gosh. I'm so in love with this. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And then we have information about all of the designers. And another map of New York about different places that they love in the different areas of New York City. And then abbreviations and stitches and techniques. And then a pattern index.
At the back.
At the back with photos. And yeah. So what were your very favorites?
The Jane Jacobs and the Metropolitan Opera, I think.
Yeah, those are both. And those actually, the colors really kind of coordinate in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorites were the Go Lightly sweater. I think I'm going to have to make that actually. I adore Rockefeller Center. Again, I don't know if I would knit it for myself, but it's beautiful. And I love the Sheep Meadow cowl. And then again, I just love the construction and the oversizedness of the Lenox Avenue hat. That was the really tall one with a pom-pom on the end. So, but these are all lovely, lovely patterns. I would definitely say flip through this, especially if you've ever been to New York, which I have not. Well, I take it back. I landed in the airport but I didn't see any of the city. But if you've ever been to New York, you're from New York or you would like to go to New York, maybe you want to knit something that is inspired by a place you would like to visit or a place that you love if you live there or have visited there. So, again, this is the I Knit New York book, edited by Kathleen Dames and Alice O'Reilly. Again, sent to us by One More Row Press. Thank you so much for sending that. Print copies are available for $30 and ebooks are available for $25. And I would highly recommend giving this book a look through and see what you think. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Okay, we made it to the end of the show. Yeah, that was a lot to talk about, but hope y'all enjoyed it. I was going to make one announcement. If you are in the greater Seattle area, so Seattle proper or any of the areas north or east or over here on the Kitsap Peninsula or anything, my good friend and mentor, Tara Swiger. Tara Swiger. Why did I say Tara? Tara is how you pronounce it. Sorry. Tara Swiger is coming to visit, and we would love to do a workshop for you, whether in your home or if you own a yarn shop or you frequent a yarn shop or you host a knitting group or you attend a knitting group. We'd love to do a natural solutions for knitters and crocheters workshop for you, or if you just want to get together a group of friends and hear more about natural solutions and essential oils, we'd love to do a workshop for you. So if this is something you might be interested in, could you shoot us an email at grande@javapearldesigns.com or PM me on Ravelry, I'm Java Pearl, or contact me on Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to chat with you about seeing if we could work that out for while she's here, or if that doesn't work out, I'm happy to do one on my own for you, for your group. So just wanted to throw that out there. Other than that, I don't think we have any other announcements other than our normal stuff. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the podcast. Love you guys so much. And especially a big thank you to those who support the podcast financially. It helps pay for all the behind the scenes things that need to happen. So if you're interested in financially supporting the podcast, the main way is Patreon. That is a site where you can support your favorite creatives by donating a small amount per month. It's similar to like what you would do like for the PBS channel. So you pledge a certain amount each month, and you receive rewards based on the level that you donate at. So if you'd like to know more about that or want to sign up to do that, go to
patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
What's another way, Dammy?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
Or we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're shopping on Amazon, if you click through our website first, we get a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you're doing already anyway. Dammy, why don't you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are the links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
All right, and with that, I think we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your week, and we will talk to you again next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Alright guys, this is Luke the second. Isn't he lovely? We're super excited. He's actually, they call it a red color, but it's more towards the maroon side of red, which Luke the first was actually a maroon Santa Fe. So there you go. Super excited to have Luke the second join our family, and yeah, we're very excited. Alright, have a great week, y'all.